What begins as a dream job opportunity turns into a nightmare of captivity and exploitation. Paul, a brilliant programmer, finds himself trapped in a criminal gambling empire where freedom is stolen and lives are destroyed. Alongside Lily, a former model caught in the same web of deceit, they must fight for survival in a world where one wrong move means death. This is a story of deception, desperation, and the deadly cost of gambling addiction. Paul was a man of gentle nature, a brilliant programmer who was a star in his office. His groundbreaking work had finally earned him the long-awaited promotion, or so he thought. When he entered the office with hope in his heart, he learned the devastating truth. The promotion had gone to someone else. Shocked and heartbroken, Paul quit his job. But amidst his disappointment, he found solace in a new opportunity, a high-paying position in Singapore with even greater prospects. Paul met Andy, a recruiter from Singapore selecting skilled candidates, and Paul was among the chosen few. But during the flight, things took a sinister turn when Andy requested Paul to hack into the phones of all passengers. Puzzled, Paul complied, thinking it was a test of his skills. When they landed in Singapore, a chilling surprise awaited. Goons attacked Paul and his friend, smothering Paul with a cloth. In those fading moments of consciousness, he saw Andy with the attackers. He had been deceived. Paul woke up in an unknown country, trapped in a grim factory. There, he met Ben Gouling, a ruthless gangster. "You'll work for us or face the consequences," Gouling threatened. Paul was forced into a room filled with terrified people working on computers. Those who disobeyed were tortured with taser guns. Paul discovered everyone was building gambling apps. Each floor revealed darker secrets, software engineers forced to program. On the second floor, and on the third floor, beautiful women coerced into manipulating men into gambling. His dreams of a promising career lay in ruins. Desperate, Paul plotted escape, but Andy caught on, threatening him with a gun. That night, he was thrown into a rat-infested room. Andy forced him to call home and lie that everything was fine. Paul's heart broke, watching another man brutally beaten for attempting escape. The next morning, Andy ordered Paul to execute a massive scam. When Paul refused, he was savagely beaten until he complied. Then Paul slipped a help note in his pocket and headed to the restroom. He spotted a small window, his only chance, but the ledge gave way with a loud crash, leaving him at his captor's mercy once again. A girl suddenly appeared and grabbed Paul's note. Her name was Lily, once a famous model with everything, until her image was posted on a gambling site. Her boss, believing she violated her contract, fired her immediately. Desperate, Lily accepted what seemed like an easy job from a friend, but she was horrified to learn it required bold photo shoots. When she tried to leave, her friend became aggressive. Another friend rescued her and introduced her to two men offering well-paying work. Trusting them, she traveled to a secluded village with other models. Their phones, passports, and money were confiscated. They were trapped. Lily realized the horrifying truth. She was forced to lure men into gambling schemes. Like Paul, she had no choice but to endure under constant threat of violence. In the present, Lily and Paul exchanged sorrowful glances, both prisoners with escape nearly impossible. When Andy knocked, furious that Lily had left her post, she hid Paul in the bathroom. Andy stormed in suspiciously, broke down the bathroom door, and found Paul, who endured brutal punishment but kept their secret. Meanwhile, a new victim emerged. George received a message from Lily inviting him to gamble. Enticed by easy money, he won his first game and felt exhilarated. He told his college friends about his fortune, but when he played again, he lost everything, sinking into despair. Desperate, George reached out to Lily, who encouraged him, "Try again and you will win." The next day, while at college with his girlfriend, he received another message from Lily. He frantically rushed to the library to charge his phone and play. This time, he won big, filling him with elation. Lily urged him to buy a lottery ticket, and George did, but lost everything. Gambling consumed him completely. He sold his shoes, car, clothes, anything valuable. He borrowed from friends, spiraling deeper into debt. When creditors came, they stripped his home of possessions. In a brutal twist, they took him to a hospital and sold his bone marrow to recover their money. His devastated parents sold everything to pay his debts. Despite narrowly escaping death, George was ensnared by gambling again. When his girlfriend, Son In, canceled his bet to protect him, George became enraged. His desperation turned to blackmail. He forced his mother to hand over credit cards, locker keys, everything valuable. He lost it all, and eventually sold the family home. The truth finally dawned. It was all a scam. Overwhelmed with guilt and regret, George leapt from his apartment, ending his tortured life. The scene shifts to his sister, celebrating her business built on addiction, 5 million victims and counting. Her joy stands in stark contrast to George's tragedy. Back at the factory, Ben told Lily she couldn't go home until reaching 10 million victims. Meanwhile, Ben was thrilled with Paul, who had automated all gambling operations. When Ben asked what reward Paul desired, Paul selflessly requested freedom for all workers. Cheers erupted. Amid the celebration, Paul discreetly handed a young man a secret note, instructions for the police. As they were escorted to the airport, the young man gave Andy money for cigarettes. At the shop, the shopkeeper noticed something strange on the note. Andy's eyes darkened with fury. He redirected the bus back to the factory. At the factory, Andy exposed the plot to Ben. Enraged, Ben ordered everyone tortured. Paul and Lily bravely took the blame to protect others. Their punishment was swift and brutal. Ben lost a leg, and Andy pulled out Lily's nails one by one, her screams piercing the silence. Deeming them too dangerous, Ben ordered their relocation. But Lily gathered her last strength, leapt from the bus window, and raced to the police station. She filed a report, only to discover the local police were controlled by Ben and Andy. Andy arrived with his men and tortured her again on camera before stuffing her in a sack and throwing her into the water. After Andy's group left, Andy appeared, pulling Lily from the water. He returned her phone and passport. He had secretly loved her all along and orchestrated this plan, convincing Ben she was dead. Grateful, Lily fled to the airport. She found an old friend and recounted her harrowing ordeal, exposing Ben's gambling ring. Her friend revealed Ben's vast network made capture nearly impossible. But the police devised a clever plan. They secretly sent Paul a note with a date and time to trigger the fire alarm as a signal. Paul deliberately lit a fire that fateful night. The police stormed the scene. Ben panicked, realizing he'd been discovered. A chill ran down his spine. His own friend Andy had betrayed him. The police demanded his phone as evidence. Then a gunshot echoed. Andy, gripped with fear and guilt, fired at a police officer. The police retaliated swiftly. Andy was shot dead right in front of Ben. In this intense confrontation, Ben was taken into custody. Exactly 1 year later, police efforts had significantly reduced illegal gambling worldwide. At a press conference, Paul, now with only one leg, shared his story to spread awareness. Standing beside him was Lily, both haunted by their past. Paul's voice cracked as he spoke, unable to shake the memories of those dark days.
Gambling is not just a game of chance. It is a trap that destroys lives, families, and futures. What seems like an easy path to wealth becomes a spiral of addiction, debt, and despair that consumes everything you hold dear. Behind every gambling platform are ruthless criminals who profit from human suffering, exploiting the desperate and the hopeful alike. Remember, no amount of money is worth sacrificing your integrity, your loved ones, or your life. The house always wins, and the price you pay is far greater than any jackpot could ever be worth.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe for more recaps. See you next time.